Welcome to another video. This is your Tactical Power Pro, and today we're going to be learning how to bypass a CEO sensor or a CEO shield on any champion generator. As a disclaimer, CEO sensors are a safety mechanism, are there for a reason. It's not recommended to bypass them, but I know they give a lot of problem. Like here, you see the generator running, and out of nowhere it just shuts off due to a CEO shield, the CEO sensor triggering and cutting off the ignition. So if you're like me and you hate these sensors, this is the video for you. Let's identify first where the sensor is located. In this particular generator model, the CO sensor module is located on the left side. But before we start messing with any of that, we need to learn how everything is wired. Now I'm going to teach you the easiest way for you to find the electrical diagrams of your champion generator. All you got to do, go to the champion website. Once you're there, look for your generator. Let's say you have the 3500 watt dual fuel. Okay, go there, copy the model number, then go to support, product manual and diagrams, paste your model number, search, and there you go. Parts information for that generator, scroll all the way down, and right there you're going to find the electrical diagram that we need to understand how the CO sensor on your generator is wired and how can we bypass it. Alright, so in my case, we're working on a Champion 9500 watt dual fuel generator. So I got the manual part information for it. So let's go all the way down to the schematics. So the wiring diagram for this generator, the first thing you're going to do is look for the CO module. So you see the CO module right here. Let me zoom in. Alright, so we got the CO module. Now we're going to look for the ignition coil, which is this one right here. Now trace which wires goes from the ignition coil to the CO module. In this case, we can clearly see is the WMBL, which is white and black wires. They go into the CO module. So all you gotta do, find the black and white wire that are going to the CO module and jump those together. If you jump those wires together, there is no way that the CO module open that contact or ground that ignition. But before we start cutting any wire, let's put this theory into test. So here I have the plug that goes to the CO sensor disconnected, so the generator should not start because the ignition circuit is not completed. Okay, so the generator did not start as expected. Now let's jump a wire between the black and white wire coming from the ignition coil to the coil. You see we put in the jumper between the black and the white wire. Let's see if the generator starts. Thanks to the wiring diagram, we were able to identify the wires coming from the ignition coil, and with the jumper cable, we were able to complete that ignition coil circuit, and the generator is running perfectly. So now I'm going to act as the CO sensor, and I'm going to remove that jumper wire, opening the circuit and shutting off the generator. And that's how a CO sensor shuts your generator off. One thing I would like to point out is that in my case, in this generator model, the wires coming from the ignition coil to the CO sensor were black and white. Depending on your generator model and size, then the wires coming from the ignition coil to the CO sensor might have different colors. That's why I recommend always finding the diagram first, identify the wires that coming from the ignition coil to the module, and test before cutting and splicing any wire together. One thing that I also recommend is cutting the ground wire to the CO module. Typically is the yellow and green wire, but check your diagram to make sure that's the one, just in case color changes. Now that we know what to do, let's start cutting and splicing to completely bypass this sensor. Like I mentioned before, cut the ground wire to the sensor so we can completely disable it and connect the plug back in. So this is how the final product should look like. The two wires coming from the ignition coil connected together and no ground to the plug. Bypass completed. Now let's start the generator and see if it runs. Okay, so the generator is running, but we need to test if the CO sensor is really bypassed. And here's how we're going to do this. We have a second generator in which we haven't touched the CO sensor. We're going to start the generator and activate the CO sensor by having the generator next to it blow exhaust gases straight to the sensor and see if it shuts down. And once we confirm that the sensor triggers and shuts down the generator, we're going to bypass that CO sensor module and redo the test and see if we really bypass that sensor. And there you go, the generator shuts down. Now we know that this CO sensor is doing its job. Let's go ahead and bypass it. Same as we did before, cut the ground wire and connect together the two wires coming from the ignition coil. And now with the sensor bypass, you can take a look. We did the exact same thing we did earlier in the video with the other generator. Let's now proceed to do the test, having the exhaust gases from the other generator blow straight into the CO sensor of this unit and see if it shuts down. Let's go. With the CO sensor bypass, it can still sense the exhaust gases, but now it cannot turn the generator off because we took away its ability to ground or open the ignition circuit. We shut down the generator next to it. This one is still running strong. And that's it. This is how you properly bypass the CO sensor. This should work on any generator. Just find the wiring diagram, identify the two wires coming from the ignition coil, and then remove the CO sensor module ground out of the picture, and you should be golden. But remember, The CO sensor is there for a reason. I'm not encouraging bypassing safety, but if you really need to, this is how you do it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.